Good day, everyone. You're welcome to another edition of One-on-One with CK and on CK News TV. Today is going to be another bumper edition, and our guest today is a noble Nigerian who has made his mark in the sphere of human endeavor, a man who I would call a veteran as far as the media industry in Nigeria is concerned. Also in the entertainment industry, he is an icon. He was the former general manager of Punch newspaper and also the author of the Lady of Songs, late Chief Christy, Essien, Igbokwe. I am talking of no other person than Chief Edwin Igbokwe. You are welcome, sir, to CK.
Thank you very much.
It's nice having you, sir.
Nice having you.
Yes,
too.
and as when I came in, for walking the streets, everybody would just think that you are just a few years older than me, sir. But I don't.
If you say so.
But I know that I continue to ask, what is the reason for this young age of yours? You are not aging at all, sir. You are aging graciously. What's the secret, sir?
What were you expecting? Maybe you were expecting that since you started hearing my name,
Yes.
that I've made some remarkable noise, so to say, with the name. You should expect somebody who will be bloated.
Yes, sir.
Well, I am, maybe because I started early enough, God permitted me.
Yes, sir.
Because I joined Punch newspaper, the only place I worked in my life. That's why I can point and say I've never worked in any defunct area or company. That's the place I started. That was where I ended as an paid employee. And I started when I was 21 years old. I was a group accountant, then group finance controller, then became the general manager, the pioneer general manager of Punch at the age of 26. So maybe from the time you started hearing my name, you expect somebody who will be
exactly,
very good.
Exactly, sir. Wow. At 26, you became the general manager of Punch newspaper.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
By God's grace.
That was a big feat. Sir, what can you say about the founder of Punch? I know it's somebody that you look up to as not only as a big brother, but as a mentor.
Not only as a mentor, he was like a father to me. Because people at the initial stage, when we started, they thought, at a point, they thought I was one of their burdeners, Mark you, Punch is owned by Yorubas, 100%. And for somebody who did not even understand Yoruba dialect, I'm not talking about language now, dialects. That's any of the dialects. Yes. And I got to the position I got to, is by God's own doing. Coupled with the fact that God used Oluwaboderin, who was my mentor. I still use him in the present. He is my mentor because I still believe that his influence on me makes it to be present. He was, how do I put it? He was like destiny helper. It was through him that I got to get where I am. I think it was God's design. Let me summarize it that way. So he, a fantastic man, a detribalized man. I've never seen a detribalized Yoruba man like him. Because he got to a point, some people were trying to witch hunt and all that, and he made them understand that, look, if I'm to close down this establishment, the only person that will be here will be Edwin. Edwin will be my messenger, will be my secretary, will be my accountant. He was a chartered accountant. He'll be everything. And both of us from this estate will be earning our money. So,
wow. Was a massive trust.
Oh, yes.
Was a massive trust.
Let me tell you, I'm happy Amuka is still alive. When I was group accountant, they will sign check because I refuse signing checks of Punch. Wow. They will sign check from, once the new checkbook comes, they will sign from the beginning to the end. Both of them were signatory. They just hand it over to me. So really? The trust was so much that, and they never found me wanting in a way.
You mean Mr. Amuka, the publisher of Vanguard?
Yes, because it was him and Oluwaboderin that
started Punch, yes.
He was on the editorial while Olu was on was on the business aspect.
Yeah,
You know, going around everywhere, promoting Punch, while Amuka took care of editorial. I remember when Segun Osoba, the former governor of
Ogun
State, who came to launch the new Punch building and the equipment. After Ogunshola had spoken, then Segun stood up in the crowd and said he knew how Punch started. It's like it started on tripod. Amuka was taking care of editorial, doing it marvelously, all right, with trust. And Oluwabodunrin was in charge of business aspect. And there was that small boy, he's now old. That was what he said. Edwin Igbokwe, who was in charge of finance.
Wow.
That was the statement he made there.
Wow.
You know, at the end of that, before we went on tour of the place, I think my former chairman, Ajibola, said, Edwin, I'm sorry, I didn't remember to give you that credit that Segun Osoba gave.
Okay.
No, I was indifferent, really, because I brought out my mind to work. Maybe that was how God used to Oluwabodunrin as a vessel to get me on,
Yes,
you know. Otherwise, who am I?
Yeah.
I don't have it. This is one get Baba plan for me for this house.
Akpelo, what have I done to you? What have ask her, what have I done to her? Jagada, go and bring what? I go and bring a share. I went and I brought the share. Go and bring medicine. I went for the medicine. Carry my leg, put on the share. I put her leg on the share. Go and bring water. I brought the water. Now she's complaining that I did not watch the tumbler. Akpelo, what have I done to you in this house? One like I must go and see that doctor and tell him to make sure that he detain you in the hospital until you are.
Good. Then you also know that you did not only enjoy Punch, it was also a launching pad for you to meet your wife, one of the greatest actress, one of the greatest female musicians this country and Africa has produced. I do use the word has produced, and that's in the person of Lady of Song, Chief Mrs. Christy Essien Igbokwe, the former president of PIMA. How did you meet?
In short, you know, when you say that, that I used the platform, as a matter of fact, it was Oluwabodunrin that made sure that we got married.
Really?
It wasn't planned. I think I was away to our London office in London, our London office rather, on a business tour. And we were having this yearly thing we normally have at the National Theatre. They call it Concert of Stars. You know, Punch does it. Because Punch was into so many soft sell whatever, exhibitions, Happy Home exhibition and all that, Skyline record. When I came back, I was group finance controller then. When I came back, I saw Wala Mele, I saw this girl, and few of them that performed on stage. So I saw her, and Oluwabodunrin said, come, Okuorun. Because he calls me.
That's why he calls you.
Yes, and he speaks to you back to me, whether I understood it or not. You know, very lively man. He said, come. You are asking me, why did I keep these people waiting? I want you to see this girl. This girl is 18. She should be your wife. Not all these girls I see come from Unilag, come from Unibado, you know, Abafemi Awolowo University, come here, and they will be complaining about you to me. Now, this is the girl. This is homebreed, because as she was coming for this concert of stars, the foster mother said one of the conditions was that she mustn't stay in a hotel.
Wow.
So Oluwabodunrin took her in, and he stayed with her. We stayed with his family, and also with Dio Wright's family.
Okay.
You know, Dio Wright's girlfriend was. They became, you know, when they knew, this is happening. Then he said, that's the girl you might say, how? This one that fights, is it not the
Jegede's wife?
As a matter of fact, even in recent past, before she died, anywhere I was introduced as, this is Akpeno's husband, I'll call the attention. I said, no. Akpeno, Jigade's
His
wife.
wife.
Christy,
my wife.
So they are different about
two
it.
different human beings.
You know. So
People entirely.
she said Okuonu, that this is acting. It has nothing to do with her personal life or whatever. I said, I just swallowed it. Then after the concert, he wanted to tell her to come back after 1 week. He said, can I tell her? I said, why not? Tell her. You know, because he has not told her why he said they should wait. Because I had an accountant under me who could have paid them their stipends.
And they would have
so
just
they would have gone.
Yeah.
So why waiting for me until I came on Monday? You know, so I now got to know what it was. Then when we now went, she stayed about a week. As a matter of fact, she stayed a week before now going to come back after another one. So when she stayed, there was this Star Wars at National Theatre.
Okay.
Star Wars film came. They were premiering the thing, and then
National Theatre.
my girlfriend came from University of Ibadan, and we all went to the theatre with Ayu Lulu was Tyrai's girlfriend, living girlfriend, and we went. When we came back, it was like, okay, take her, drop her on Monday, because my girl had to go back. She said, drop her at the airport, and later just fly back to the foster mother. So as we were at the airport, local airport, was only one airport then, the local airport. We got there, and she was frowning her face a bit. I said, what's your problem? He said, I was putting on mustache.
Just like mine.
Just like yours. I said, what has that got to do? Why? He said, she doesn't like it. I said, why? He said, because her father rather, spotted that, and each time he drank beer, all the whitish thing would come with there. And she's a very clean girl, very clean in every aspect, you know, home, what you eat, and how you dress, and all that. So I said, okay, by the time you come back, I would have removed them. He said, no, what for? Your girlfriend will like it. So in any case, by the time she came back, I already removed it. She said, why did you remove it? I said, I removed it because I felt it wasn't good. You told me, you know, I don't look good on it. So, and that was when Oluwaborin said, when Oluwaborin told her to go and come back, there's something he had for her. And when she came back, it was a musical conference going on in London. Ayo Iroche was there, Toyin Willoughby. Wow. We all traveled together. Wow. But what happened was that when she came back, she said, I don't have passport. And you know, nobody calls her Eya. Wow. I'll tell you some story. Wow. Let me wind forward, but I'll come back. You know, so when we have Mustafa, who is our London office manager, Mustafa is still in London, but not with Punch again. And we had a white driver driving Oluwaborin in London, his car in London. So one day, I'm going back to, I'm just touching why he calls her here. When they got to the airport to collect her, because the white driver had Mustafa, who was our London office manager, saying, we are going to collect chairman's mother. So when she alerted, that was much later. I'm not talking about, I'll come back to how we now travel. Then when that one came, then she came in, opened door, she entered. I said, then that one whispered to Mustafa, where is the, he said, that's the mother. You know, that's mother. So what I was saying, I now, he now told her that there's this thing, we go. She said, I don't have passport. It's okay. He called immigration officer. I said, bring your travel certificate, blank one. There's somebody who must issue. That one came with everything, and there they issued her with her. They took, you know, Punch just took a passport photograph on it, and the thing was signed, and that was how we traveled. The next 2 days following that.
Everything in my song to you. I've always wished that you wish me more. If you should give me the answer, right now I go on till night. Yeah. Oh, mommy, show me where Nduba ya enwe nzukọ onye nu ya kọli ibe yo Nduba ya na-abịala.
Because then there was no issue of getting a visa.
No, we don't get visa there. You know, in short, people go after Nigerians when you are in London on the street. When they say you are a Nigerian, they will say, take whatever you want. Where do you stay? It's only the address they need.
That trust
Yes.
was there.
Yes, only address. Because they know you won't. Oh no, okay, I don't want to remember. So when we got there, we stayed in one room, two separate rooms, very cold. And one man was saying, if I go and touch this girl, she can slap me because of Jegede issue. Then I think at a point, there was how she tilted, and I also tilted. And she said, what am I trying to do? I said, what do you mean by what I'm trying to do? Am I coming near you? Look at our beds, we are single, very far away. Anyway, nothing happened. So I had to come back. The chairman said she should stay back and stay for another 1 week, you know, let the office in London take her around London and all that. So I came back. When I came back, he now told me, you see why you have to marry that girl. She's well brought up. So when she now came back, he said, that is the person you will marry. This is my son you will marry. He said, he has not told me anything. He said, yes, he doesn't need to tell you, but there is a presumptive.
Yes, now already. You buy your pre-wedding.
Yes. So he said, then I later approached her and said, look, this is what chairman was thinking. What do you think about it? I want it. She said, if you want it, do I want it? I said, already the match has been made. And it's sealed.
Yeah.
She said she will think about it and come back, you know, after seeing the foster mother and all that. Well, to cut the whole story short, that was how the thing became. And then, but I still saw some trait of Akben on her. She's very strict.
Very, very.
Oh yes, she's strict to Ford, and she doesn't like anybody cheating her. So we carried on, even during our wedding, because I wore tuxedo. I introduced the tuxedo, and I had a walking stick.
Wow.
So I was all over the place.
Wow.
Her chief bridesmaid, when we are coming out of the aisles to get out for photographs, you know, she was 18 going to 19. And Obi, the first son, was disturbing her. And I was having my...
You are catching your phone. It was your day.
So he was telling the chief bridesmaid, said, when her veil, whatever was trying to do, I just seen, now you they married. Then I just saw small picking in her. Straight. I just this thing. And that one was laughing. Because that one was serious to her. Was laughing at her. So by the time we were taking photos, I was all over the place, and Obi was kicking, and the anger carried on and all that. Up to the point that what we arranged, that we have to do slow motion movements with vehicle till we get to country club where we are supposed to have the procession. I told the driver. She told the driver, I think, I can't remember. Driver, just speed, move back to the house. We are living in Punch Compound. We came there. Then I say, then we forgot. I remember they said they forgot knife to cut the cake. And it was in our room. I said, let's go back to our reception. You know, we have not finished. So she came down, we entered, and we went to the reception. You know.
Wow.
So since there, that is it.
Wow.
And but pre our marriage, she told me, yes, you want to marry me, but there are things I want to tell you. Because I have checked you out spiritually, and God has said so. I will get married. But you want to have a girl first. But I'm telling you, God told me that I will have 4 kids once I'm married, and they will all be boys. Are you ready for that?
Wow.
And he said, I know why you want a girl. So I wanted to tell the story. She started telling me the story, so I completed it. Do you want to hear the story?
And you never told her before?
No. What
at all?
We are not married. You know, nothing. Do you want to hear the story? There was this, when I was group finance controller, we used to go for credit control, and there was this, on Martin Street, there's a restaurant behind Bristol Hotel, mostly for elites, and mostly whites were there, Lebanese and all these people. So the first day I went there, to it, I saw one man and the girl. The way they were talking, I was alone, you know. And after they left, coincidentally, when I went some weeks later, I saw the same people in the same restaurant. I said, what? So I couldn't finish my food when they rushed out. So I left. The waiter was saying, sir, you have not paid. I said, I'm coming. So I went, I saw the man, opened the door for the girl. The girl entered, he closed, and he went to the steering and they drove off. So when I came back, the waiter was saying, what was it? I said, those people. He said, they come here constantly. It's father and daughter.
Wow.
I said, God, I want daughter first.
Based on that.
Yes. So she started the story, then I completed it for her.
Wow. That's mysterious. Very mysterious. Then she now, she from art and art, she now took music fully and to become one of the biggest artists that ever come out of this country.
I never knew she was singing.
Have you ever wished that I should go on singing for you? Have you ever liked my person? Have you ever loved my music? Have you ever wished that I should go on singing for you? Taking my time the way I make friends, knowing my right from my left. Taking my time the way I discuss, knowing my right from my left. Oh, come on, didn't do what you
I'm telling you.
I never knew. Even when I thought she came to act this Akbenot thing.
This thing.
Olubere told me that, look, she sang.
Wow.
And T-Mac was producer of that concert.
Oh, really?
Yes.
The same T-Mac.
Yes, same T-Mac.
You know. Wow. You know, so
that was when I got the idea she sings. I thought it was that Akbenot thing.
there are so many songs that I can't even remember. I don't even know which I'm going to talk about. What gave her those inspiration to come up with those very spiritual songs that has lasted the test of time now?
As a matter of fact, are you trying to ask, what am I God? It's God that gave her. She never sat down to write songs. She doesn't. No. She might just come across. She might come now, just breeze in here and see what will happening. It's a song.
Wow.
She will go up. Inspiration will just come. She might get out 3 tracks out of that. All she will do is that once it comes, whether she's in the toilet or whatever, once she comes, she goes straight to the tape. She has a mini tape, they call it.
Mini tape, yeah.
And then she will just sing whatever the brief, the first brief. Maybe she'll be hitting something in order to give the rhythm. Yeah. And that's it. Wow. It is when she's recording, she will now expand it to. And at times they give her this thing in the dream. She will wake up after her morning prayer. She will say, that. And she had a lot of. She was a spirit, and she used to tell me. My wife was a spirit. She used to tell me that at least at a point she said, you're a spirit. So how did I know? You were talking about Piman.
Yes, about Piman.
When she went 1982, is that 82 or something? When she went for recording in US to use some studios there, and they told her, where is your license to come out? He said, what do you mean? I came here with my money, booked my studio, and I'm going to use my money that I brought from my country to come and pay your artist to back me, and you are telling me license. Am I performing to forget fee?
Yeah.
They say, even at that, ma'am, you got to. So when she came back, she said, Daddy, she calls me Daddy, I call her Mommy, as young as she was, And she said, this is my experience. I said, you experience? He said, yes. I said, then, what is it? He said, I want to form musicians association here, just like they have in LA, in US. I said they had before. He said, please help me research, know whether they exist in that. Later I go and be member. And when I investigated, I discovered that those that came up died. They were moribund, sort of. So she said she wants to unite all musicians again. And she said I should help her I said, draft what you want, then I will finish it. She drafted, and I finished it. And I went to Sonia Day. I said, we used Aria nightclub. This is her mind. He said, why not? Onyeko and all of them came. We were invited. All of them, Timak, Edelojo, a wife, they all came. And that was, and Balamila, all those, that was how the thing came up. So Sonia Day was made president at the second meeting in my parlor in Punch. And Obe, we say let Obe be chairman. Based on supposed to be vice to Sonia Day. And the thing, and Imogosi was general secretary, and Madogo was publicity secretary, and all that. So they told her, it must be something. So they now gave us treasurer. And it carried on that way. That was Happy Man. And at that early stage, there was a time they planned to go and see this President Shagari.
Okay, Sheikh Shagari.
Sheikh Shagari. So they now assembled at Bobby Benson's hotel on Ikorodu Road, Lagos. And when they got there, they used his limousine, his limousine, that is Bobby Benson's limousine, and a few other cars that came around. But Bobby Benson said one thing. I thought, before they drove out, because I didn't get to that place with them, but I saw the pictures, I still have them. He said, we should all be ashamed of ourselves. Look at this one, 22 years, young enough to be my granddaughter, is the one coming to assemble us. We should be ashamed of ourselves. So I now touched him. I said, that is not it. That is how God designed it. So they respected her throughout. This is a girl. The elder sister took her. That one is still alive. Took her when she was 3 years. She was in the police. The elder sister. That was where he stayed with her, and all that. The same elder sister was the one when we got married. After I got married, brought her out from police and sent her to catering school. She was the last in the family, but it's like the first.
Igbokwe. Igbokwe. First one.
Goodness. Wow. Now we also realize that so many important, and you people finally ended up having 4 sons, as she envisaged, and she said, how was she able to juggle her role as a mother, as a superstar musician that was also going across the globe, and by what, how was she able to cope with that?
She was an organized person. In short, when she was alive, we had a group of companies. She was the managing director. I was the chairman. And everything depended on organization and what she thinks about the family. This is a girl that was given an opportunity to have her first baby in London. And she said she wasn't going to. When we got to London, normally we send us
Yes,